Today I'm brewing the Golden Devil, the beer to fear. A beer that looks innocent on first appearances but hides a devilish kick. Let's brew a Belgian Golden Strong. Hello, I'm Martin Keane, taking the Homebrew Challenge to brew 99 beers in 99 weeks. This is beer of the day, Belgian Golden Strong. Now, yeah, this is a beer that just from appearances alone looks very unassuming. It's light golden in colour, it's got a very fizzy appearance, a dry mouthfeel. It's not until you take a sip that you realise what's hidden inside, which is a tremendous amount of alcohol. So to get that, I have a pretty large grain bill, but a very simple one. And I'll come on to talk about what's in here in a moment. But for now, I'm going to be mashing this at 152 Fahrenheit. That is 67 Celsius. I've really ground this up. So because I'm using a brew in the bag system, I'm able to have quite a fine crush, and I really want to make sure that I get full conversion out of this. So I will be mashing for at least an hour. I'll just keep an eye on it, maybe even a little bit longer. All right, let's recirculate. So recipe design. This is a beer with quite a high ABV, around 9%. So going to have quite a high original gravity of 1078. Now, often before recording these segments to camera, I'm on my phone trying to memorize the recipe and the percentages. Not too much of a challenge today because the only thing that went into the mash was a single grain Belgian Pilsner. But that's not the only fermentable ingredient. Now, some of the most well-known Belgian Golden Strong styles like Duvel, they use Pilsner malt and they combine it with sugar, Dextrose in particular. And in this style, you're always going to want to introduce sugar to add a little bit more alcohol without adding any body to the beer. So what I'm actually doing here is I'm using 85% of Belgian Pilsner, and the remaining 15% is coming in the form of dextrose, which I'll be adding into the boil. Now for all of my beer taps, I'm using Nukataps. These are forward sealing, similar to Perlick, but they have a lot of advantages. I love the fact, for example, that I can switch out a regular tap faucet for one that supports nitro just by unscrewing something on it. And Key from Kegland has sent me a new Nukatap, this one with flow control. So I'll quite often bring a keg with me when we have these outdoor neighborhood gatherings, and really I just want to bring the keg. I don't want to have to bring my CO2 as well, so I just typically bring this with a good amount of pressure in it, and then over the course of time, as it keeps getting poured out, the pressure gets lower and lower. So it starts off really foamy and then sort of calms down a little bit. But now I can actually control that. So what I've got here is a keg that is charged to 10 psi. That's my normal serving pressure out of my beer taps. Now, if I try to run beer at 10 psi through just this little attachment here, regularly I'm going to end up with a lot of foam because I don't have any beer line that's reducing that pressure before it ends up in the glass. However, now hopefully with this flow control, I can handle that situation exactly. So let's give it a try. So what I'm going to do is first of all open the tap, and I have this flow control set to basically closed. So when I open this tap, just a dribble, almost nothing coming out here. And then as I adjust the flow control, I can control how much beer comes out. So a little bit of a dribble. If I want it faster, or if I fully open it, well, then I'm going to get a glass of foam. But this gives me much more control, and basically as the keg drains over time and the pressure is reduced over time, I can just open this more and more in order to get the perfect pour. Which this most definitely is not, but it still tastes good.
When your heart is racing at the speed of light, and you feel like you've got nowhere else to go.
Low alpha acids, noble hops are really what we want to aim for when it comes to adding hops to this beer. Duval uses Styrian, Golding and Saaz hops. That's what I'm going to use as well. So I'm going to be adding in at the start of the boil Styrian, Golding, and then adding Saaz in with 15 minutes to go. And I am just boiling now. So I'm going to put these in. This will give me an IBU of around 22. And then as the boil is just about to finish, that is when I'm going to be adding in my corn sugar. So this will go in with just a couple of minutes to go and help bump up the gravity.
I never even have to doubt. I never wanna go without you next to me. I wouldn't do it differently. When you feel it burning right into your eyes, and your heart is telling you to take it slow.
Transferred my 3 gallons into my Spike Fermenter Flex Plus. I hit my original gravity number, so that's good. And now I'm going to add in my yeast. What I'm going to be using here is Wyeast 1388. This is Belgian strong ale. And I'll be fermenting this at about 70 Fahrenheit or 21 Celsius. This has got to stop.
Yeah, I know. Like, we don't have a lot of clothes in common, but apparently this shirt is like the go-to shirt color.
It's the tasting shirt. So, speaking of tastings, we are in just a golden age of tasting for me right now. Pun very much intended. Last week was the Saison, which was glorious, right?
Phenomenal.
Just fantastic. I love that style, and that one was great. I also really love this style of Belgian Golden Strong, so can't wait to try this one as well.
Okay.
Now, is it living up to its name of golden?
I think it is. It's looking pretty golden to me. It's got that yellow hue to it. I smell, this is going to be awful to say, because I don't know how to put it, but I smell the Belgian-y in it. Does that make sense?
Belgian-y. Okay, smells Belgian-y.
Belgian-y.
No, I know exactly what you mean. All right, let's get into this.
Sure.
This has been sat in a keg conditioning for 5 weeks, and I have been tempted so many times to just run over and have a quick taste. That was genuinely my first taste of this.
Which most of them are.
Yes,
They mostly are. Like,
we're not cheating.
yeah,
right?
we're not.
We sit here and this is our first go at it. So what do you make of this one? Is it a Belgian-y taste as well?
Yeah. Like, I get very slight taste of a little bit of fruit. It's like a little bit of orange.
Sort of citrusy orange. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that or pear or apple is sort of typical for the style. This isn't like orange juice orange. No, but it is just sort of subtle tones of fresh fruit.
Yeah.
Now, you often ask me in these shoots, what's the alcohol percentage?
Always. He's like,
yeah.
Let me check.
Then I always cut that bit out because I never remembered.
No, never.
I do know what the alcohol percentage is this time.
Okay.
I want you to tell me what you think the alcohol percentage is.
So I want to say that this is a 6.2.
6.2.
75.
6.275.
Yeah.
6.275 is incorrect.
So what is it?
8.5.
Holy shit.
It is.
Oh my god.
Can you believe this is 8.5%?
No. Well, thank you for watching. The recipe is down in the description. Everything you want to purchase for this kit is at Atlantic Brew Supply. And next week, what we got?
Next week we're moving into, well, I said this is a golden age. My goodness, now we're moving into Trappist ales next week. So bring it on.
You told them.
I didn't say which style.
Oh, that's a good. Well, on that note.
Cheers.
Cheers.